All these doubles were in Lucerne just 8 weeks ago. Poland is the only one that was not there. So Poland really are the dark horses, although we know very well that they have tremendous speed, and they were the fastest crew qualifying for this final.
What makes this particular race and this particular final so exciting, as it was for the women's race previously, Dan, is the fact that everybody's actually competing on absolutely equal terms.
Well, yes, it's all down to power. They're all the same weight, so you've got no differences really in power. What you do have there is technique, what they've got in their head, their approach and their motivation, and the way that they move their boats. And certainly Poland have shown over the last 8 years they've been together that they really know how to move a boat. Although it's an interesting style, because they're very upright, they lift their bodies a lot. You can see everybody else is sitting low and driving, but the Polish double, they lift their bodies a little bit there as they take the stroke and then bounce the boat quite a bit. You can see how it's bouncing at the finish of the stroke, almost disappearing there as they finish the stroke out. So in a way you'd expect them to be inhibiting the progress of their boat, the way they bounce it, but my goodness, they make it work for them.
Interestingly enough, this is only the third edition, of course, of the men's lightweight double sculls in the Olympic Games, introduced in 1996, and every edition has been won by a crew wearing red and white. In 1996 it was the Gear brothers for Switzerland. Of course, Kucharski and Seitz were the champions for Poland in 2000. So I don't know whether that's a little bit of a hoodoo.
Well, their record is pretty good. 97 they were first, 98 they were first, 99 they were too heavy, 2000 they were first for the last Olympics, then it's been second to Italy every single time. Now Italy have gone. Hot favourites, Italy have gone out. But Poland are amazing because they've been an inspiration for the Polish rowing team. It's been a renaissance in Polish rowing. They've inspired the heavyweights as well, and the women's double scull as well. They've all really come on enormously, and there'll be a big hope for the next 4-year cycle to Beijing. But here they are, leading the group as they come to the halfway point.
And what's so encouraging is that nobody's out of this. Everybody's together. At the bottom of your picture, you can see Denmark. Then two from the bottom are Greece, who are still in touch, Polymeros and Skiathidis. Then France, who are moving quite nicely. They're three from the bottom of your picture. That's Dufour and Touron. And then Poland, and just trailing Zolt Hurling and Thomas Varga for Hungary, and Japan on the premises. That's Kashugi Ura and Daisaku Takeda. Wouldn't it be wonderful, Dan, if they could possibly get into the medals? After all, next year the World Championships are in Japan, 2005, in a place called Gifu.
Takeda, though, who's stroking the Japanese boat, he's very experienced. And in Japan it's very difficult for them to continue their rowing after university. University is where they do most of their rowing, and then they really go into business. They have to go and find a job. And so there are very few Japanese athletes who carry on after university. He is an exception, and he's performed always very, very well.
Just a quick view there of the Greeks, and they're still in there in about fourth equal place with Hungary and Japan. But here are Kucharski and Seitz.
They're very effective, aren't they? Not only do they take very long strokes. Compared to everybody else, they're getting the sculls in just that much further behind the rigger, right at the full reach there. Just a bit longer than everybody else, and they take a long stroke to the finish. So you can see this from this top shot here, how really accurate they are when they pick up the stroke at the front end. Very, very good sculling.
It's just such a pity, Dan, that Pettinari and Luini are just not in this final at their very best, because it would have been a fantastic ding-dong battle, I think, between the two.
Well, Italy have had a terrible regatta, actually. They've failed all the way through with their top boats. They've only got the lightweight 4 to go in the next race, so certainly not here. But very much out in front, unchallenged really, and unchallengeable are Poland.
In the foreground there, Denmark. On the right of your screen there, Rasmus Quist, who's engaged to Joanne Thompson, who finished 10th in the Danish women's lightweight double scull a little earlier on. And then the French going with Denmark, Greece in, what would you say, just about fourth place?
Yeah, fourth place there. But France, as always, looking technically very, very good. They're sculling very nicely. Their boats move always very, very nicely. And remember how quickly they can finish. Last 500 metres, you can expect the French to go very, very well indeed.
But Poland have flown. Here we are with just 500 metres to go, and I can't see how anybody is going to close that sort of gap. On the far side there, Japan and Hungary having a private battle at the moment. They're not that far away in 5th and 6th place, but this must be joyful.
You can see how their boat bounces. You saw that in that back shot just there. Their boat really does bounce, so they're actually covering an awful lot more of the boat in the water than they should, and that doesn't allow the boat to run quite as well, but it's not stopping them from going very fast indeed.
Dan, I've got to stop you there because interesting things on the near side here. Here are Denmark in the foreground, there are France, and look at the Greeks. Look at Skiathetis and Vasileios Polymeros. That's why the noise is coming. Look at those Greek flags, and the Greeks are coming through, and they're going past the Danes. Boy, would you have ever believed this?
Greece up to 40 strokes a minute. They've gone through the very experienced Danes, and they're now moving up on France. But what a fantastic sprint. Last 500 metres up to 42 strokes a minute.
Absolutely, and as a result of this final sprint, both France and Greece and indeed Denmark are now closing down on Poland. They're still over a length of clear water, as you can see, but would you believe it? Skiathetis and Polymeros are not only in bronze medal position, they're having a crack at the silver, and it is Touron and Dufault holding off the Greeks at the moment. Denmark seemingly haven't got anything else to give. The other two crews are out of it, but could they possibly get a silver? Can they hang on to a bronze? Have they gone too early? Seitz and Kucharski, Olympic champions in Sydney, look as if they've done it again. Surely they've done it again. Here come the French, Dufault and Touron really throwing it down at them at the line. Poland get the gold, France the silver, and Greece have taken a famous bronze medal in the Olympic regatta, and that's the first ever Olympic rowing medal, and how well they deserve that, and didn't the fans play their part?
Great last 500 metres, but it was them coming onto the French that pushed the French onto Poland. I think Poland thought they had it pretty easily then. I think France had settled for silver, but then suddenly Greece came along and they had to, all of them, push on a lot harder than they expected to. And look how close it was at the end.
Yes, from over a length of clear water to barely quarter of a length, the winning margin, with Greece almost half a length ahead of Denmark. What